We believe, the police chief believes, and he does it beautifully, training police on the detailed indications of radicalization. When you are directing traffic at a mosque, what do you look at? Well, we as citizens, we certainly can look for indications of radicalization. It might be the person across the street, it might be just some uncomfortable behavior that we see. What do we do, and how do we communicate that? What do we talk to police about? And of course, if we go to see a police person and they don't have the training, they don't want to hear from us. We're the enemy. Just like, I have 6 children. Half of them don't get it. They don't want to talk about it. The truth hurts. So if your police department has never had the training, when you knock on the door and invite them to talk to you about whether they've had the training or to try to get them to answer one of the questions we're going to talk about in 5 minutes, there may be some resistance, but again, we're just trying to talk about the truth. So we have to have the courage to pursue that. Conclusion: there is a significant correlation between highly Sharia-compliant mosques and the promotion of political violence to establish Sharia law in America. And establishing Sharia law in America, again, is not either or. It's to replace the Constitution. It is here now. It is not that it's coming, it's that it's here. When it gets enough energy, it will attempt to supplant the Constitution. It's reasonable to assume, even if people are not themselves going to be practicing Sharia, if they are in a radical mosque and they continue to go, and they continue to put money into the mosque, they are sympathetic to the message, even if it's not for them personally. So it's more than a house of worship. It's a center for Islamic government in our own communities. And there are Sharia-compliant indicators that need to be observed as indicators of illegal activity, even violence. The police department in New York City was shut down, even though they were aggressive in going after mosques. As you know, the mayor of New York and the president in the last administration shut them down. So we need to practice due diligence at our mosque, in our jurisdictions. How's that going to happen? And why does the Muslim Brotherhood want to keep us out? That's certainly the case in Michigan. It's important because for every individual jihadi, there's a connection to a mosque, to training, to indoctrination. So behind every one of the attackers, we can certainly trace it back to a mosque. Those mosques are open. It might be one person out of 100. There's 99 other people that got some of the same messages that led that one person to kill people. And so that's part of the training the police get. They take a break. They come back for 2 more hours on indicators of radicalization. We're not going there. Obviously, the mosque we just talked about, another indication of radicalization would be, of course, what happens in prisons. The most aggressive prison chaplains, unfortunately, happen to be Sharia-compliant Muslim chaplains who are in the prisons taking people who are, for whatever reason, disconnected to any structure and giving them a structure called Sharia. And these are people who might be in jail for violent crimes. They're being trained in Sharia. That is a scary situation, and the police need to be trained. And then, of course, the internet itself is just a wide open way to get radicalized. So that's another topic that we're not going to cover.